The UN's envoy to Syria is claiming President Assad's government will commit to a ceasefire agreement over the Eid festival, which starts on Friday. Lakhdar Brahimi said the final decision would probably be announced by Assad on Thursday. But he gave few details, and there's considerable doubt whether a ceasefire can universally be adopted, monitored, or even enforced. CCTV's Tony Cheng reports from Syria.
The grave of a Syrian government soldier sits next to a Free Syrian Army checkpoint on the edge of Azaz. Although they are still the target of plane and helicopter attacks, there hasn't been any ground fighting here for several months. But nobody was talking about a ceasefire. In Egypt, however, a surprise announcement from the UN envoy to Syria. Lakhdar Brahimi had persuaded President Bashar al-Assad to agree to a ceasefire for the festival of Eid al-Adha.
The government have agreed to a truce during the Eid al-Adha holiday, and I think that the Syrian government will issue a statement on accepting a truce today or tomorrow. The majority of some rebel leaders which we were able to establish contact with have also agreed a truce. If this initiative succeeds and holds, we will be able to build on a dialogue for a longer ceasefire.
But that might be very optimistic. This was the scene of the last major battle here in Azaz on the second day of Ramadan, as the Free Syrian Army fought to take over the military headquarters. It was clearly a vicious fight. This petrol tanker has been literally thrown up into the middle of this building. But although they haven't seen that much fighting here in the last couple of months, there's still a huge amount of bitterness towards the government and its army. And any sort of ceasefire seems virtually impossible. This Free Syrian Army commander suspected it was just a ruse to allow weary government forces to regroup.
There are different opinions. The military council agrees with the ceasefire, but the battalions don't. But the answer is that only if the government accepts the ceasefire will we decide.
Of course, those who stand to gain most are the ordinary civilians caught up in the fight. I hope they'll do this. I hope the ceasefire will happen, this man told me. In the graveyard, several fresh new plots. The ceasefire will be too late for them. And even if it does hold over the festival of Eid, it's most likely to be a temporary lull than a permanent end to the fighting. Tony Cheng, CCTV, Azaz, Syria.